Hello, I'm Spike, and welcome back to another self-taught Japanese in Rosetta Stone 3. Once again, apologies for not being able to make the video speaking module for Friday release. As mentioned in the previous video, I was actually busy. I double booked myself prior to the summer, actually, for the workshop that needed to be delivered. And a few other bits and pieces like music work, studio work, etc. So I actually double booked myself across 2 days and completely forgot about it until the Thursday and the Friday occurred in question. So here I am on the Saturday on Sunday actually, making up for it. So the listening and reading modules have gone up live for 7 days on Twitch and permanently on YouTube. Speaking of, if you like, follow, share, and subscribe to both channels, it's twitch.tv/xofficina and youtube.com/xofficina. If you find one, you can get yourself over to the other page. They both link to each other. Failing that, on YouTube, and I'm sure it mentions on my Discord, and there is probably a link on the pages too, to the Discord. I've got a Discord server where you can DM me there for feedback, constructive criticism, any more extra comments, any suggestions, advice, tips, tricks, you name it, things you might like to see on the channel, and all that sort of stuff. DMing me on my Discord server is the best way to get in touch with me directly. Right, with that all out of the way, I can start. I can start teaching myself some more Japanese with this particular module, which is the speaking module for Unit 3, Work and School. So without further ado, let's set up the microphone. Oh no, we don't need to because I've already
こ
set it
の
up.
赤ちゃんは生まれて18日です。
この赤ちゃんは生まれて18日です。
この赤ちゃんは生まれて18日です。この赤ちゃんは生まれて18週間です。
この赤ちゃんは生まれて18週間です。
この赤ちゃんは生まれて18週間です。
Nice.
この子供は生まれて18ヶ月です。
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 Lovely stuff.
彼は18歳です。
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 And there we have it. That's the first slide of speaking. I was expecting it to be a little bit harder, but obviously we've been using these slides now for the past 2, 3, 4, 5 slides in this module. As it's introduced to us, the various parts of this module, and the grammar changes that it's trying to focus on, it generally tends to stick to the same slides of information. Just remember as well for this video, obviously the old reference sheet. So we've got ourselves the old number sheet and the tenses just in case. And of course, the alphabetized kanji of the hiragana alphabet, as well as the page that I forgot a video or two ago, which is the Japanese grammar tense learning of days of the week. This little stuff, is it smelly, does it taste good, does it taste bad, or it's delicious. The seasons, and then a couple of bits that were learnt the other day, it's to taste and to smell. And again, days of the week, month, and year, that was done in the last video. So, yeah, for 10 slides, this is probably going to be quite short and sweet. Excuse me, I've just had lunch, and my soup's attacking me on the way back up. So yeah, let's go without further ado. I mean, obviously, this is the baby is 18 days old. The baby is 18 weeks old. The child is 18 months old, and he is 18 years old. Let's go to slide 2. Let's see what we're like on here.
おはようございます。おはようございます。
Ohayo gozaimasu.
おは
So
ようござ
repetition's
い
pretty
ま
good at
す。
the moment.
赤ちゃんは何歳ですか？生まれて9週間です。
Umarete kyushu. Wait a minute. What did it say?
生まれて9週間です。
Umarete kyushu kan desu.
生まれて9週
Now I'm gonna have
間
to
です。
repeat this just to get it correct. Although it did repeat, so you obviously get a retry on the on getting one wrong. Now whether it's a retry that's one wrong per individual callback, or whether it's just one for the entirety of the slide,
お
who
は
knows?
ようございます。おはようございます。
Ohayo gozaimasu. There we go. So
お
we can
は
get that one
ようご
right, so
ざ
that's
いま
okay.
す。赤ちゃんは
赤ちゃんは
何歳ですか？ 生まれて9週間です。
Umarete kyushu kan desu.
生まれて9週間です。息子さんは何歳ですか？息子さんは何歳ですか？息子さんは何歳ですか？
Moskua
息子さんは何歳ですか？
Musko-san wa nansai desu ka?
息子さんは何歳ですか？ 18ヶ月です。
There we go. So we're not doing too bad. This one was a little bit more difficult because, again, even though I've encountered the slides and obviously the detailing, it's remembering what was said and how, for me, visually, I'm a visual and kinesthetic learner. So I learn by seeing and doing. So in this format, perfect material. You take a portion of that away and it gets more intense for me to learn. Not necessarily difficult, it just means I need to have a couple of repetitions to get in what's being asked of me so I can then repeat it back out and therefore learn it, right? So, Musko-san wa nansai desu ka? That was a little bit more difficult because I couldn't picture the Musko-san by itself or the one nansai desu ka? It's the same with this slide up here. This picture here. Umarete kyushu kan desu. The way it was pronounced and audiorally presented. Kyushu sounded like one word, and then kan sounded like a separate. So even though I've encountered this numerous times, it sounded like it was all of a sudden separated, and my mind goes, I can't do this, and struggles. But that's what neurodivergence does. It can, one minute your superpower works in engaging with the information, and then other times it absolutely, it's like hitting a brick wall and fails completely. Let's move on to slide 3.
月曜日、
Getsuyobi.
月曜日、火曜日、
Kayobi.
火曜日、水曜日、
Suyobi.
水曜日、木曜日、
Mokuyobi.
木曜日、金曜日、
Kinyobi.
金曜日、土曜日、
Doyobi.
土曜日、日曜日、
Nichiyobi.
日曜日、
Fabulous. We like that. Because obviously it's all about the strictness of what it's picking up on the old microphone, and I have mine set to one or two notches below the strictest possible level, which in this, with some of the bugs that I pointed out, which you will be able to see in other videos, and I do talk to some degree in the other videos when I've encountered it, particularly when there's been a spelling mistake in one of the slides and its information, and then obviously the audio track that comes out is saying something completely different. It's the pickup on strictness is, it can be quite strict. So but I find that it's worth having it at that level to just start getting it correct straight off the bat. I'm glad that at the moment we're hitting that threshold. Slide 4.
これは冬の木です。
これは冬の木です。Yes.
これは冬の木です。これは春の木です。
これは春の木です。
これは春の木です。これは夏の木です。
これは夏の木です。
これは夏の木です。これは秋の木です。
これは秋の木です。
これは秋の木です。
Cool. So again, these slides, we know what they are. This is winter, this is spring, this is summer, this is autumn. We get into a little bit more of the complicated.
これは
because
冬
now it's
の
broken up.
私の家です。これは夏の私の家です。
これは私の冬の帽子です。
これは私の夏の帽子です。
これは私の夏の帽子です。
Because I didn't have quite the right raise, the inflection up, the tiniest little I didn't hold on to the des for long enough. And when you say a des and it's at the end or an immerse and it doesn't, this struggles to pick it up. It's worth making yourself sound like a snake when you come across the S's. At least that's what I found. I cut short on this one just a little bit and it's marked me off for the ending, which is why I didn't highlight the des there. And in the circle, obviously it took off that tiny little bit of green. Not bothered, gave me the full mark for it.
私は友達の家に来ています。
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 この家族はローマに来ています。
この家族はローマに来ています。
この家族はローマに来ています。この二人は北京に来ています。
この二人は北京に来ています。
この二人は北京に来ています。男の子はおじいさんの家に来ています。
男の子はおじいさんの家に来ています。
男の子はおじいさんの家に来ています。
います。Need to say います。You need to drag out the S and make yourself slightly snake-like for it to count on this program, at least, in recognition that you've said imas, and the S it's reflecting the first hard S of imas, and then as you tail out with the subtlety of imas, the hiss that comes with the S on elongation, it comes out as imas. So you get the su part of the kanji of the word, which it then recognizes. Number 7.
私たちのお客さんはドアの前にいます。
私たちのお客さんはドアの前にいます。
私たちのお客さんはドアの前にいます。私たちのお客さんは居間に座っています。
私たちのお客さんは今に座っています。
私たちのお客さんは今に座っています。私たちはお客さんと夕ご飯を食べています。
私たちはお客さんと夕ご飯を食べています。
私たちはお客さんと夕ご飯を食べています。私たちはお客さんとゲームをしています。
私たちはお客さんとゲームをしています。There we go.
私たちはお客さんとゲームをしています。
It felt and sounded and it was better, clearly, because it marked me on full marks for it. At least it hasn't marked me down and asked me to repeat any, so that's good news. Let's go to number 8.
私の家族です。これは私たちの家です。こちらは私たちのお客さんです。
私の家族です。
私の家族です。
これは私たちの家です。
これは私たちの家です。
こちらは私たちのお客さんです。
こちらは私たちのお客さんです。
There was panic on this particular slide because I thought, oh, they've changed it. No, it's just asking me to repeat. Thank God, thank God. Wasn't happy with the first one, I missed no. Pronunciation on the second, yeah, not so bad. Third, I felt happier about. Oh, excuse me. But again, still not fully fluid on that. But it doesn't matter. Didn't mark me down. Not too fast.
このパンはおいしいです。
このパンはおいしいです。
このパンはおいしいです。この牛乳はまずいです。
この牛乳はまずいです。
この牛乳はまずいです。この花はいい匂いです。
この花はいい匂いです。
この花はいい匂いです。この靴下は臭いです。
この靴下は臭いです。
この靴下は臭いです。
Much easier. Again, some of the words that are said and how they are split up actually determines, I think, how much better I tend to do. The words are much more broken up. I tend not to blend whilst trying to replicate and reproduce at the speed that they're doing, and as a result, the tongue damage I have from earlier in my life from TIA/stroke doesn't come into play with how my pronunciation gets muddled or made more subtle as my tongue doesn't drag any on the bottom of my mouth, which is due to the muscle damage from one of those events. Which is why I have my tongue pierced, to raise my tongue off the bottom of my jaw and my mouth so that I don't I don't slur the end of most words. I don't slur the end of most sentences, which is what happens when I take it out. Which is why for the past, God knows how many years, 10 years or so, I've had my tongue pierced, 10, 15 years or so, I've had it pierced so that I can talk properly. So that's my own fault. It's helping massively with this because I actually have an up and down marker now from the top palate and the bottom part of my mouth here, where I can feel the piercing hit the bottom or hit the top first as to whether I'm pushing up or whether it's sloping down and into the back of my teeth, which for the way that Japanese is pronounced, particularly with some of the syllables, is actually really, really helpful as a marker. And also for being able to stop myself from pushing too far into my teeth for harder sounds like T or what other word? We've got T, or te. It helps with anything that where you have to sort of truncate and stop the syllable in pronunciation. So kutsushita, for example, kutsushita or kono kutsushita. It's easier to stop because I've now got used to where the tongue placement is, the muscle memory, but also I have this metal bar that's touching in certain places that allows me to regulate how I'm pronouncing. So slide 10 of this.
これは臭いです。これはいい匂いです。
これはまずいです。
これはまずいです。
これはおいしいです。
I did get it right, but I did have to look at my reference sheet. But it is 35 out of 35, 100% correct. But it did take a bit. I knew it was Mazuri des after I looked. But I should have realised it's asking for each of these adjectives of what's occurring. So yeah, not so bad. For the harder section of the module for this exercise, I'm surprised how well I've done on that one. So let's go straight to lesson 1 on the speaking. Let's get the more basic stuff.
13
13
13 14
14
14 15
15
15 16
16、
16、17、
17、
17、18、
18、
18、19、
19、
19、20、
20。
20。
Sweet. So there's our numbers for those who might want to take them down, although this is a speaking exercise and we've already had them in prior videos leading up to this point. So give that a couple of seconds. It needs to be paused and then written down. Let's go to slide 2.
学校、
学校、
学校、病院、
病院、
病院、レストラン、
レストラン、
レストラン、公園、
公園。
公園。
Nice. So school, hospital, restaurant, and park. Slide 3.
この医者は病院で働いています。
この医者は病院で働いています。
この医者は病院で働いています。この男の人たちは公園で働いています。
この男の人たちは公園で働いています。The men
こ
are
の
working in
男
the
の
park.
人たちは公園で働いています。この女の人たちはレストランで働いています。
この女の人たち、この女の人たちはレストランで働いています。
この女の人たちはレストランで働いています。この先生は学校で働いています。
この先生は学校で働いています。
この先生は学校で働いています。
Fantastic. Let's go to slide 4.
僕は公園で遊んでいます。
私は学校で遊んでいます。
私は病院で働いています。
私は学校で働いています。
私は学校で働いています。
Fantastic. We are powering through these slides on the first repetition module 1 stuff.
どこで働いていますか？
私は公園で働いています。
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 私は病院で働いています。
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 私は学校で働いています。
私は学校で働いています。
私は学校で働いています。私はレストランで働いています。
私はレストランで働いています。
私はレストランで働いています。
Cool. Let's go to slide 6.
いつ働いていますか？
私は朝働いています。
私は朝で働いています。
私は朝働いています。
いつ働いていますか？
私は昼働いています。
私は昼で働いています。
私は昼働いています。
いつ働いていますか？
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 私は夜働いています。
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 Fabulous. Got that right. I don't know why I put hiru de hataraite mas in my response. I just did. There it is. Slide 7.
男の子たちはご飯を食べています。朝です。子供たちは朝ごはんを食べています。
朝です。子供たちは朝ごはんを食べています。
朝です。子供たちは朝ごはんを食べています。昼です。男の人たちは昼ごはんを食べています。
昼です。男の人たちは昼ごはんを食べています。
昼です。
Not bad.
男の人たちは昼ごはんを食べています。夕方です。家族は夕ごはんを食べています。
夕ごはんです。家族は夕ごはんを食べています。Stuffed up on
夕
the
方です。家族は
G's.
夕ごはんを食べています。
They become a lot softer, a hell of a lot softer after certain participle functions occur. And this is an example where it's no longer yugata des, it's yugata. You're pronouncing g as in a nya, nya. And it softens dramatically for pronunciation purposes. It does happen in a couple of other places that have happened again in the videos that I've done. I've made the same mistake of producing a hard G instead of an incredibly soft G that's in pasting. So it's like how we have rough or tough. Our GH has become S to signify how the H modifies the G to become the F for some reason. Because it was GH was in syllabic compound from how we've taken from language and developed English, and the same occurs here in Japanese. So it's just being mindful of that. I know I've made the mistake there of producing a harder G, and I tripped over myself in trying to pronounce yungata and yungahan in response to this particular one. That's all also ever so slight cold and being outside for 2 days straight, but you know, it is what it is.
おはようございます。
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 こんにちは。
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 こんばんは。
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 おやすみなさい。
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 Fabulous. Again, singulars, much, much easier. Sentences prefer being broken up.
おはようございます。お元気ですか？
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 元気です。
元気です。It's important to get the inflection right up and down.
こんにちは。お元気ですか？
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 元気です。
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 Nice. Let's go to slide 10. Final
こんばんは。
slide. こんばんは。
こんばんは。
お元気ですか？
元気です。お元気ですか？
寒いです。
おやすみなさい。
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 Superb. Fantastic. We've got ourselves sorted. And then we have it. 38 correct. Another 100%. So there we go. That's the two speaking slides modules done for this entire module. So that's the entirety of module 2, or module 3, sorry, work and school. Unit 3, lesson 2. So core lesson 2 onwards. These modules are completed. So that just now leaves the review. So let's get into it. Now, this review, I imagine, past our 30-minute video timer, this might take a couple of repetitions to get. It depends what format it's going to be in. If it's anything like a couple of the other reviews I've done so far, at the end of modules, they've been ramping up as to how difficult they are and the kind of problem it's presenting to me, and therefore to you guys. And again, in previous modules, in previous units, they've gotten very difficult and presented stuff that is totally out of pocket and out of field because there's no pre-warning to the material that you've just learnt and just gone through that'll appear in the review for you to clamber back. Also, there has been a couple of instances where it's given me completely new information, a completely new Japanese phrase with no prior learning to what that phrase was going to entail. So how could you get it correct? Basically meaning you can't 100% this on your first go. You have to give it a couple of tries, and then you also have to note down what the new phrase would be. So just forewarning that. But without further ado, let's give it a go. So here we are. Review time. What have we got? 8
これ
slides.
は臭いです。これはいい匂いです。
これはまずいです。
これはおいしいです。Yes, lovely.
これはおいしいです。
おいしいです。Also, you can't skip. You can only move forward in the slides manually as well. So there's no automation in this section.
足、
Shit. Ashi's foot.
足、
God damn it.
手、
Tet's hand.
指、
Yubi's fingers.
足の指。
Yeah, so I've stuffed up this slide already. So let's go to the home. Let's go back to the review, reset the score, and restart.
これは臭いです。これはいい匂いです。
これはまずいです。
これはおいしいです。
これはおいしいです。
There we go. If you get the inflection correct for that one, let's move on. Now we know what we were looking for.
足、
Ashi, foot.
手、
Tet's hand.
指、
Fingers.
足の指。
Fingers of the foot. Also known as toes. Here we go. Let's go to slide 3.
月曜日、
And then we have Kayobi,
火曜日、
Suyobi.
水曜
I
日、
am using my reference sheet, I ain't gonna lie. Mokyobi.
木曜日、
Yep. Kinyobi.
金曜日、
Doyobi.
土曜日、
And Nichiyobi.
日曜日。
Reference sheet, fantastic. Again, it's not particularly cheating when you're teaching yourself, and this could be considered the exam portion, I suppose, of any kind of form of learning, because you can't go back. It's not exactly timed, there's no automation, but you've got to go forward, complete it to get the score, and then back out, or do what I did, click home, go start the module again, which I will keep doing until I pass through. 100% is the only way forward. And I want to make sure I'm getting it right.
何をしていますか？私は妹とゲームをしています。
何をしていますか？
何をしていますか？
僕は病院に来ています。
So it's like
僕のおばあさんです。
we're just about to get over halfway of the review, which for this one seems to be quite easy. It's just asking us sequential question slides, if you like, and particular tasks of us to see if we've been paying attention, basically, to the material up to this point. So it's not as free-flowing as a couple of the others, where particularly the ones that presented us with new information, new Japanese language, without even teaching us any of it beforehand. But we're just about to go over halfway.
私の家族です。これは私たちの家です。こちらは私たちのお客さんです。
私の家族です。
私の家族です。
これは私たちの家です。
これは私たちの家です。
こちらは私たちのお客さんです。
こちらは私たちのお客さんです。
These first two were a bit bitty. I'm aware of that. I still need to brush up on them. I think I just get caught off guard. I don't know what it is about these two pictures and this slide in particular, with what it's asking of me. I should find this easy. Watashi no kazoku desu. Kazoku. Kazoku desu. Kore wa watashi tachi no ie desu. Anyway, slide 6. Let's see if it gets harder.
一日
Ah, it does. Ichinichi is the day.
1ヶ月
Is the month.
1年
Ichinen's the year.
1週間
It's the week. There we go. Okay, number 7.
私たちのお客さんはドアの前にいます。
Okay. Konnichiwa. Because they
こ
said
ん
hello.
にちは。
What's he saying? Watashi no ie yokoso.
私たちの家へようこそ。
Yokoso. So it's the other way around. And then here we have. It's got to be. Thank you very much.
ありがとうございます。
Yeah, that's what I'd say. See, we haven't been told arigato gozaimasu yet. I don't think.
これ
Maybe once or
は
twice.
夏の木です。
Natsu. Summer.
これは冬の木です。
Fiyu no ki desu is winter.
これは秋の木です。
Aki no ki desu is autumn.
これは春の木です。
Haru no ki desu is the spring. Of course. Of course it would be. Oh no. My Japanese work is coming out of the. Doesn't like it coming out of my folder, but I'm going to need to because it's causing issues. So there we go. Sorry when I just ripped my pad apart, but live stream issues as they are. I can still write into that at the moment, so that's good news. There we go. 26%, 26%, 100% correct. 26 correct of those slides and questions posed at us. That's the review for module 3 or unit 3 and lesson 2 modules, which is this section here. I was expecting it to be a little bit harder than it was, but that's the review now done. That's these videos that I missed Thursdays and Fridays, now caught up, now out there. This is what would have been Friday's one being done on Sunday. It is now released here on Twitch and exported to YouTube. So that's going to be all from me today. As always, like, follow, share and subscribe to twitch.tv/xofficina and youtube.com/xofficina, where you can find me and in all my glory of streaming games, covering songs on guitar, and obviously the Japanese stream. Like, follow, share and subscribe to anyone who you might find likes anime, who might have an interest in Japanese culture, or wants to learn a new language, or specifically wants to learn Japanese. Again, I'm teaching myself in this manner. You are watching it live as I am doing these videos. I am teaching myself as I go in this program. It's Rosetta Stone 3. My version is from 2010, I think. So it's quite an old version, version 3.4.7 or something like that, that I've now got working on relatively cleanly on Windows 10 anyway. So it has got some bugs. It's right at the start of the voice recognition sort of era, with microphones and such, and like speech to text stuff. It was very, archaic, very medieval, if you like, back in those days. It does work though. Strictness levels, obviously, as you witnessed if you've watched any of my other videos, it makes things a challenge. So please, yes, like, follow, share and subscribe to my channels for this type of content. I'm hoping that everyone's finding that at least the materials, my commentary and me learning shows that even if you've never encountered the language before, or even if you've got an incredibly limited amount of the language before, like I had myself from my prior hobbies and interests throughout the years, if you've got the right method and the right materials, you can teach yourself anything. In my case, for this, it's learning Japanese from the get-go throughout the course of the next couple of years, in the hope that by the time I get to, I don't know, May, June of not next year, the year after, so 2027, that I'll be versed enough and learned enough to be able to make a trip out to Japan for my 40th birthday with my daughter, and then hopefully ingratiate myself into the culture and the locals, being able to understand them, talk to them, and read stuff out there without needing to constantly go Google Translate or the phrasebook. That's the idea. And so far, I think I'm, on the way to having some understanding of what's going to be going on out there. As you can see, we're going to be moving into core lesson 3 of unit 3 on Monday. So tomorrow for me, because it's Sunday that I'm redoing this to be able to go up, because I missed obviously Thursday and Friday due to work commitments. So that's what we're going to be working on as of tomorrow, as of Monday, the 29th of September. So again, as I said, like, follow, share, and subscribe. If you want to get into the comments below, that would be fantastic. Any comments, criticisms, constructive feedback, ideas, advice, tips, please, you name it, get into the relevant videos below. If you can't and you're seeing this as it happens to go up, then obviously comment on the VOD. If you are seeing it as it gets, as you find it on YouTube even, just comment as and when you need to, depending on which video you happen to want to comment on. Anyway, that's all from me today. I will see you tomorrow on Monday for core lesson 3. That's it. So take care, stay safe, keep sane, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.